All right, I'm Nick England, joined here by
Nick West.
And this is Quest for the Cup, episode number 2 for the 2023 season. We just wrapped up event number 2, and event number 3 is only a week away, so we're going to do a quick little recap how event number 2 went, some of those highlight matches, some of the top players that are going to be coming in for event number 3, some of our favorite matches to look forward to, and then big picture, what is going on in the playoff standings. So we're going to go ahead and start off with some of our favorite matches from event number 2. So we saw kind of a common theme throughout, but I'm going to start us off there. We saw the Utah Stingers go down 2-0 against the Chicago Untouchables. They were able to scrap back with virtually no bench at all and pull off the first reverse sweep, if I'm not mistaken, of the 2023 season.
The very first one.
Yeah, and they really needed that. Now, that kind of just paved the way for what was arguably one of the most exciting matches of the weekend.
Not to be outdone, the Ramblers saw this reverse sweep and thought that they'd take it out on the New Jersey Freedom. After going up 2-0 on the Ramblers got their stuff together, so to speak, and pulled out the win in the 5th set, beating them 3-2.
Yeah, we saw their versatility there. Felix Chapman had started on the outside. He got moved to the middle.
Yeah,
they brought in the duo of John Carlson, Eric Beatty on the outside, so kind of moving some stuff around there. But
you know things are going well when you can put Felix Chapman in that middle blocker, and that's a lot of guns on the court. So
worth noting, I think we had the second most points scored by a player ever. Penrose put up 35 points, just one shy of his now teammate Felix Chapman, who had 36 last year.
What did he rack up? 6 aces on the match?
6 aces, 5 terminal blocks, and I want to say 24 kills. I think that totals the 35 that he had. So very impressive performance. He's been making his NVA debut season well known. No surprise how successful he is. And that final one we want to talk about, Philadelphia Founders pick up their first win over the Ontario Matadors. We've been very high on the Matadors after they took down the Ramblers at the end of event number 1.
Yes.
So they kind of had a lot of stock in their name, and everyone was kind of starting to really respect where they were going. Also, Founders had not yet found a win, so they've been playing some great volleyball, but to be the second expansion team now to pick up a win in the season, Wild sitting at 3-1, Python still 0-4 after event number 2, but Founders showing us some great East Coast volleyball, picking up that win, now moving them to 1-3. But if they continue the trajectory that we have seen as they've improved and some of those new pieces coming in, I think that they're going to be contending for one of those 3rd or 4th spots over in the American Conference. But we'll dive a little bit more into that in a little bit here.
And don't be confused by the Founders record. A lot of their games have been really just grinding it out, very, very close sets. So kudos to them for finally getting their first win against the Matadors, a team that we have seen in the past can absolutely play with the best.
And something we've seen every season, and it's always a main talking point, is going into event number 3 is right when all of those seniors graduate from the NCAA, so they're now eligible to play a league. As we do not have any undergrads, it is only graduated players. And then finally, also, all contracts have ended from international stuff. So that's where any team that signs someone by event number 3, that full roster is in effect. So this is where we always see the league jump very substantially. There's going to be a litany of new names that we'll see throughout the event. But right now, we're going to go over some of our favorites. Most of these are names you're going to know from previous seasons, but definitely some great ones to keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, so if you thought the quality of the league had gone up already this year, just wait until the Wild get back Brandon Rattray, Matthew Knigge, and Josh Eisenberg. Guns in every respect at every position. You guys are going to be quite fun to watch. It's fun to see how those weapons fit into your team and how you guys go forward moving on.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to see how they all kind of come together. I mean, from the stunner size, no surprise. Corey Chambers, fresh off a season over in Greece, he's been one of your guys' mainstays in the offense. He's a huge part of your 2021 win. You know, someone that we always get very excited to see, the high flyer out of Santa Barbara. So excited to see him back. And if you thought the Ramblers were already very, very sound and stacked top to bottom, well, here's 3 new names to get you even more excited. Mainstay in the back line, Ryan Manugian, back from a season over in Portugal. He'll be joining them as the libero. Arguably the biggest name in the league to join this season. Not to be confused with your brother, but Matt West, fresh off a season in Poland. Matt played for the Stunners back in 2019, and if I'm not mistaken. So it's been some time, but making his return to the league. He's done a lot of work over in Germany, playing with Berlin Recycling Ball. He's played a lot with the USA team. So he's one of the most seasoned guys in the USA folder of names. So seeing him come back to run that offense is going to be an absolute treat.
Yeah, he's a West, so rest assured he's an absolute dog.
And finally, in that 0-2 position, looking to round out that team is Colton Cowell, fresh off of a season over in the Bundesliga in Germany, where he was playing on Lindenberg. And so that would be a very exciting one. Just one more piece of that ball control getting in there, and he's going to be very exciting to see. So tons of other new names that teams have been signing, but these are really some of those head turners. So we're excited to see how those guys do.
Welcome to the league, man.
That's almost an all-star lineup right there that you could just toss on the court and just do some pretty solid damage.
Hey, you've already broken up and making your own team, all right? Don't start looking at names and making
Don't get any
dream teams again, yeah.
Well, we'll table that dream team for the 2024 season, but let's take a quick look for some of our favorite upcoming matches for event number 3. Start us off with this first banger.
Yeah, so exciting matches to look at. So the Tyrants right now are undefeated, and this will be probably the biggest test to remain undefeated this season. First, they're going up against Team Freedom, which, as we know, in the regular season is a pain in the butt to beat.
Yeah.
They finally got their first regular season loss last event, but look for them to come back with a response. I believe Joe Norman will be back and helping them again at opposite. And then right after the Tyrants play Freedom, they have to go up against Nick England's team, the San Diego Wild. That's going to be an absolute dogfight.
That's a tough weekend for the Tyrants.
It is going to be a very tough weekend for the Tyrants. They're 4-0 right now with a chance to go 6-0, but with some absolute the teams that you don't really want to play at this point in the season with all these weapons that they're adding right now. So that'll be very entertaining to see.
I do have to say, when we take a step back and look at they upgraded that roster in almost every single position. So big props to Gianluca Grosso for that. But seeing, the guys like Austin Matatia being a nice role player in that
Shooter has been
that beast.
He looks very much improved.
Yep. And then in the middle, you just see that combination between Joseph Grosh, Antoine Aguiar. We've seen Skylar Marashigi in there, and Lucas Lewin.
And we haven't even mentioned Jake Langwood.
Yeah. He was just one of those mainstays. So
we just named 8 dudes and didn't mention Jake still being
yeah, former USA guy. So excited to also see what Chris Hall off of Denmark, the USC grad, is able to get done. He had a good match. He and Maxwell split last event. So a lot of pieces here, but we'll keep that one moving along. The one that I'm always excited for is the Freeway Series. We just got to play San Diego versus the LA battle last event, but now it's time for LA Blaze to play the OC Stunners. So that one will always be exciting. The 405 split right there.
That's going to be on Memorial Day. That's going to be on Monday at 6 p.m. And as always, it is my my lifelong duty, and I absolutely will. Dang it! I will beat the Blaze. The Blaze are my favorite team to beat, and look for me out there on the court on Monday. See you soon.
Little self-promo cut. Love to see it. Also, since we're going to be back at Long Beach City College once again, it's been a fantastic venue for us this season. That's going to be a great match. Great timing that, on Memorial Day, 6 p.m., have a bunch of people come out and support their 2 local teams. So really looking forward to that one. Maybe see if I can hop on the broadcast to get you guys all going. That's going to be a fun match all the same. Now, finally, let's go ahead and hop into where we stand on the overall rankings. As a quick refresher, the way this works, that there is the American and the National divisions. Or conference, American Conference and the National Conference, and then there is the American Coastal, American Central, and then the National Coastal and the National Central divisions. If you get first place in your divisions, there's 2 first places per conference, you get automatic bids into that championship event. Of the 4 remaining teams, the top 2 teams, there's kind of a system of tiebreakers between overall record, NVA points scored, and then it really gets tedious depending on how tiebreakers go. But essentially, what that allows for is one very stacked division could have all 3 teams go. So it's just, the way we set it up is to ensure that the best teams are there, even if you get kind of power pooled in your division. So really a big fan of how we have that set up. I'm going to go ahead and run us through where the American stands right now. Both the Ramblers and the Wild are split 9 points apiece, both sitting at 3-1 in different divisions, American Coastal, American Central. So they're both the first place teams regardless. Yes.
But they'll be kind of jockeying for who might get that first seed overall from that division. Now just behind them, Stingers with 8 points, currently sitting on a record of 3-1 as well.
And then the Matadors currently at 2-2 with 5 points. That means that as of right now, Orlando Southern Exposure and the Philadelphia Founders, both with 3 points, sitting at 1-3, are out of the playoff picture. 4 more matches to go, a lot of games to be played, but that's the current breakdown as it stands.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned the Stingers being 3-1. We have 5 teams right now in the league that are 3-1.
Yeah.
You guys, the Wild, the Stunners, the Stingers,
Freedom,
and
maybe it's just those.
and the Ramblers.
Yeah, you're right, and the Ramblers.
Yeah, and the Ramblers. So a lot of these top teams are right there at that point. And we're going to bring in the National Conference right now. The Tyrants, as I said, are undefeated. They have 12 points. They are leading the entire NBA right now with that total. Freedom at second with 10. Stunners at 8. Untouchables with 3 big points. And then rounding out the bottom is Blaze and Pythons. They both have 1 point.
Yeah, both those teams still looking for their first win this season. But, Untouchables have been playing some good volleyball. There's an entire program rebuild there. So I think that they're happy to see that potentially what we thought on paper, that Pythons team looked like they were going to be pretty threatening, having a little bit more of a troublesome start. So maybe this is the year that Chicago Untouchables, their workover on that team is going to just kind of get things going up and running real quick. So.
And that quick start for the Untouchables, as opposed to the Pythons' current record, probably will help them in the long run. Not to say that the Pythons are a 1-point team, I don't think. I think they got a little unlucky with their schedule. Yeah, they had to play us, and they had to play very early the next day
against Freedom. I mean, those are 2 dogfights already, and the timing was tough.
Don't sleep on the Pythons. That is not a team that you want to show up and see how the game goes. You need to bring your top energy against them, and they're going to be very hungry to get that first win.
Absolutely. And just one quick recap, just to remind you, the way that the season is structured is both Event 1 and Event 5 are divisional weekends. So you play everyone in your division. So that's where you really start to take away wins that other teams can earn. So especially when we look at the American, where it's so close in so many of those spots,
yeah,
those are really going to be important. Stingers and Wild, depending on how the rest of the season goes, they might be competing up in that last weekend for who wins that division. And so it's going to be really exciting. Again, that's why it's all structured that way, so that every match matters, especially at event number 5. So we'll keep you guys updated on exactly what's going on, but the best way to do that is to check in on NVAUSA.com. Check us out on NBA USA on Instagram, TikToks, all your favorite places, and of course, check out NBA USA on YouTube as we go live next weekend for Memorial Day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 12 matches coming your way, starting at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. You don't want to miss out. As always, I'm Nick England.
I'm Nick West.
And we'll see you next time.